Just gone 10:15 here in Paris this evening, and it's time then for some business news on the programme. For that, I'm joined here by Catherine Bennett. Hello, Catherine.
Hello.
You're going to be starting us off then with that EU summit where the EU leaders failed to agree on their budget. Tell us what's been happening.
That's absolutely right, Nadia. So they failed to agree on the budget for today. They're tussling over a budget proposal that would cap spending at around 1.07% of the EU's gross national income. And that extra 0.07 is key, as the self-styled Frugal Four of Austria, Denmark, Netherlands and Sweden want to bring that number down to 1%. And many poorer states want to keep a bigger budget of 1.3%. Now, it's typical for EU member states to haggle before reaching a decision, but it's been made more intense this time by Britain's departure, which has left a €75 billion Brexit-shaped hole in the budget. France and Germany have been in the middle of warring blocs, trying to find a compromise, something that just wasn't going to be possible by the end of the day. French President Emmanuel Macron reportedly remarked wryly that the EU didn't need Britain to show disunity. Here's Macron speaking just after the meeting was disbanded.
So we've ended the European Budget Summit concerning our financial perspectives in disagreement. We haven't managed to find a solution over these 2 days and night of work. I deeply regret that.
The coronavirus outbreak in China is having a disastrous effect on Asian economies, with many governments downgrading growth prospects. The fallout comes at a particularly bad time for economies like Thailand, which is already stretched thin. Now, tourism, which the country depends on, has fallen by more than 40%. Naomi Lloyd has more on that.
It's high season at Thailand's Pattaya Beach, but right now you wouldn't know it. The resort, like many others across the country, has been hit by the knock-on effects of China's coronavirus outbreak.
I may have to choose to close the shop and go back home temporarily until the tourists come back, but I don't know what will happen.
In the first week of February, the number of tourists visiting Thailand fell by 43%. Most dramatically, the number of Chinese tourists dropped by 86%. Beijing has stopped all tour groups from leaving the country in a bid to halt the spread of coronavirus. A huge blow for Thailand, whose tourism sector depends heavily on the 11 million Chinese travellers each year. For the few tourists remaining, there was some optimism.
To avoid being affected by coronavirus, everyone is staying at home and the impact is bad. But after a period of time, they will come back to Thailand.
But right now, the Thai economy is already under strain, with growth weighed down by budget delays, drought and a relatively strong currency. The government has lowered its growth outlook to 1.5 to 2.5%, down from a previous projection of 2.7 to 3.7%, with the loss in revenue from foreign visitors expected to be as much as €14 billion.
Now let's take a look at the markets. Stocks in the US in the red across the board after an increase in new coronavirus cases. The Dow Jones fell almost 1%, the S&P 500 also trading lower, down just over 1%, and the Nasdaq dropping almost 2%. In Europe, indices closed downwards, with the FTSE down by almost 0.5%, the CAC 40 dropping over 0.5%, and Frankfurt's DAX also slipping by 0.62%. Now for some of the day's business headlines. Investment banking revenue has fallen to its lowest level in over a decade, according to new research. The combined revenue of the world's 12 largest investment banks was down 4% year-on-year in 2019. Almost 3,000 employees were laid off as a result. It marks a contrast from record profitability in other areas like consumer banking. New Mexico's Attorney General sued Google this week. The lawsuit says that the tech giant is illegally collecting children's personal data. It alleges that Google's education software enables the company to spy on children and collect information like their physical location, what they've read and watched, and even their saved passwords and contacts. Google has called the claims factually wrong. Data is, of course, a hot-button topic for tech companies, and Facebook is actually offering to pay users to use their personal data. Facebook wants your voice, which will be used to train the speech recognition system for Facebook devices. This could open the door to a morally grey area, consumers being compensated for their valuable data. Barclays Bank has scrapped a highly criticised tool that tracked how much time employees spent at their desks. It was rolled out only last week, and now the bank says it's getting rid of it. The computer monitoring system sent warnings to those who were offline for too long. Dubbed the Big Brother software, it was criticised by privacy campaigners, not to mention the employees themselves, who said they were afraid to even get up for toilet breaks as they didn't know what impact that would have on their statistics. Not a very pleasant work environment, I think, to be tracked while you're at your desk.
Certainly not. We don't have that, as far as I know, here at France 24.
So not.
Catherine Bennett there with our business update on the programme there.